AIS Play รวมความบันเทิงคุณภาพเปิดความสนุกทุกที่ทุกเวลา
Setiap saat, setiap waktu, keringat basahi tubuh. Ini saat yang ku tunggu. Hari ini ku buktikan, ku yakin aku kan menang. Hari ini kan dikenang, semua doaku panjatkan, sejarahku persembahkan. Terus fokus satu titik, hanya itu, titik itu. Tetap fokus kita kejar, lampaui batas. Terus fokus satu titik, hanya itu, titik itu. Tetap fokus kita kejar dan raih bintang. Yo yo ayo, yo ayo yo yo ayo, yo ayo yo yo ayo, yo ayo yo yo, oh oh oh, yo yo ayo, yo ayo yo yo ayo, yo ayo yo yo ayo. Kita datang, kita lihat, kita kalau menang berprestasi, kalau kalah jangan frustasi. Kalau menang solidaritas, kita galang sportivitas. Kalau menang berprestasi, kalau kalah jangan frustasi. Kalau menang solidaritas, kita galang sportivitas. Oh, oh, oh.
a jet plane. I got so much more to gain.
So much more to gain.
I can be that silver lining in the cloud. I'ma show the world what I'm about. I will sing out loud.
I will sing out loud.
Oh yeah. I can be that hole in the universe. I can be that joy that you deserve. I will sing out loud.
I will sing out loud. You can hear the fire that lights up the world. With your energy stronger together. You can climb higher to the top of the world. With your spirit, you're unbeatable.
They say I will never make it. They say that I just don't have it. They say just go back, forget it. They say, I say, well I'm just gonna get it. I say I won't stop till I made it. I say I will not regret it. I say, I can be that silver lining in the cloud. I'ma show the world what I'm about. I will sing out loud.
I will sing out loud.
Oh yeah. I can be that hole in the universe. I can be that joy that you deserve. I will sing out loud.
I will sing out loud. You can hear the fire that lights up the world. With your energy stronger together. You can climb higher to the top of the world. With your spirit, you're unbeatable.
I can be that silver lining in the cloud. Yeah. I'ma show the world what I'm about. I will sing out loud. If you're feeling stronger, clap your hands. I can be that hole in the universe. I can be that joy that you deserve. I will sing out loud. If you're feeling lonely, tag a friend. Let's take it higher now.
You can be the fire that lights up the world. With your energy stronger together. You can climb higher to the top of the world. With your spirit, you're unbeatable.
Sudah tiba waktunya yang dinanti-nanti kita. Indonesia akan berpesta. Palembang dan Jakarta membawa jejak negara harum di mata dunia.
ไอ้นี่นะมันบิดเป็นนาทีเนี่ยเขาเรียกบิดพายุทะลุฟ้า ไอ้จ๊ะรถไฟมึงนี่มันสุดยอดต้องทำโลกทำหม้อกันเลยที่สานแม่มึงจะได้ภูมิใจเฮียเสือกไปจี้ปมมัน
แล้วนายจะโกหกแบบนี้ไปถึงเมื่อไหร่
ก็ไม่รู้
โดนกูลากมาแฉแน่
เชี่ยตายเปล่าไม่รู้แต่มันเยี่ยวแตกเลยอะสัตว์เอ้ยปวดก็น่าจะแวะเยี่ยวมาก่อน
ไบแมนสักกรินตูดหมึก 20 กันยายนนี้ทุกโรงภาพยนตร์
Today, I think as it's shaping out right now, we're seeing a interesting meta of Hog Rider coming back into the game and really being a force, you know? It's kind of the earlier stages we saw Hog Rider being very prevalent. Now later on in the matches, we're seeing Royal Hogs be very, very strong. And once the Royal Hogs kind of got unleashed a little bit, we've seen them being banned about 50% of the games so far today. I think that's still going to be, you know, a continuation. I think Royal Hogs are not going to be played very, very much. And we've also seen some buildings, Teslas and cannons that just are not working out.
No, those buildings have received nerfs in the past, especially Tesla, one of the most recent. Cannon really hasn't been touched that much, but Cannon I feel like is only really strong in Hawk 2.6. That's really where we see Cannon shine. But Tesla, which received a nerf in the last round of balance changes, it's fallen off quite a bit.
Yeah, and we've seen Teslas that just tried to stop Royal Hogs. We've seen Cannon that just tried to stop Royal Hogs.
Shredded.
And they just do not do enough. They just get absolutely destroyed because you got to drop it in a position where it just gets absolutely destroyed by the Royal Hogs. They just surround it, they kill it, and they go right for the tower. We've seen Royal Hogs are kind of one of those cards right now that is just super, super strong, but we haven't seen too many Valkyries today, and that is pretty surprising because it is one of the strongest cards in the game. I'm interested to see more Graveyard, more Valkyrie play, and I really am interested to see how the meta shapes out going on into our next matches.
Yeah, like you had said earlier, metas shift throughout a tournament because you see what works for people, you see what they're playing, and you're going to end up playing those same people later on. It's different than the in-game meta because you're constantly playing different players, but once you're in a specific tournament setting, you need to adjust to those players as the tournament progresses. So we've seen a lot of Royal Hog. Maybe we'll continue to see Royal Hogs banned in counters to Hog Rider form, and then maybe there won't be as many Hog Riders, if any at all.
Yeah, and as we said, the meta shifts throughout a tournament because you've practiced these decks over and over again. We've seen some people play the same deck 2 or 3 times already, and that deck is going to be in the back of players' minds, and they're going to be going headhunting for that deck. What I mean by that is they are going to be putting as many hard counters to the units of the opponent in their deck to try to steal a victory really quickly and advance. So I think as the rounds progress, the decks are going to get a little bit more, you know, flavor to them, a little bit of changes, especially the flex cards might be, you know, directed towards countering the opponent's decks that they've seen already in the tournament. Right now, we are going into kind of round number 3 right now, so there has been 2 rounds. Everybody's seen each other at least twice, you know, see what they're going to be playing, see what they've practiced, and especially if you were in the losers bracket, you almost guaranteed gave up all of your secrets that you're going for this tournament because you do not want to go home in this tournament at all. So once you get down to the losers bracket, it's win or go home. I think a lot of decks are being shown, and also the key is you want to stay in the winners bracket for as long as possible. So the decks are pretty much revealed of what you kind of want to play, and now it's kind of the mind game of Clash Royale. That is the beauty of Clash Royale, especially in a tournament setting. The meta slowly shifting towards that.
Yep, and you mentioned that you want to stay in the winners bracket. Well, there are only 2 players remaining in the upper bracket. So one of these players is going to have an extra life going into the grand finals. So the 2 players that we have left are going to be Benzer Rydell representing Indonesia and Legend representing Vietnam.
Yes, both of these players have battled through a gauntlet to get to this stage right here, right now, where they are competing to pretty much in essence get their country a silver medal at the minimum if they win this next best of 5. So this is how big this best of 5 is. In essence, it could be the difference between going home or getting a silver medal, at least for your country. Obviously, you'd be in a really good position to get a gold because they'd have to beat you twice in the winners bracket final.
Yeah, that is such a huge advantage to have. And just imagine this scenario where Benzer Rydell, the home native of the Asian Games this year, going to the grand finals with an extra life. The amount of confidence that you have with your home country behind you and to have that extra life is just huge.
Absolutely, especially in the first best of 5 there. You sit there, you're relaxed, you can pretty much do whatever because even if you lose somehow, some way you lose, you're still okay. There's a whole entire another life for you. You don't even have to worry about it. You don't even have to show any of your decks. But that is the man himself, Benzer Rydell from Indonesia.
Yeah, he's looking very calm, cool, collected. But you have to wonder, are the nerves starting to kick in, especially in the upper bracket finals?
I mean, it's one of those situations where, yes, you might have nerves, but at the same time, you're probably sitting there, you're probably like, listen, I made it this far, let's have some fun right now. If I lose, I still have an extra life, but I'm going to try to win. I think you go into this with a little bit less pressure than you would in a round 1 and a round 2 situation, because you are in a pretty good position at this stage. I mean, you've made it this far, you've put in the work, you've gotten to the winner's bracket final here, but who he's going up against is a legend in himself. And that's not just his name, but what he is and everything like that from Vietnam. Legend. And it's going to be a situation where if the nerves are going to kick in, I think it's going to be kicking in for Benzer Rydell just for who he's playing against, rather than the momentous and how big this is for the winner's bracket final.
Yeah, okay, so here we go. The bans are on the screen. We have Benzer Rydell taking out the Royal Hogs from play, in Legend banning Valkyrie, the first Valkyrie ban we have seen today. We were talking about how Valkyrie is sort of a safety net for these players. Legend not wanting to see it at all.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many Valkyries. We've probably seen about 2 or 3 Valkyries in total so far, but now it's completely off the board. Royal Hogs are completely off the board. It's kind of 2 cards that go hand in hand, encountering each other. So no Royal Hogs, no Valkyries. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in game number 1.
You have to expect either Ice Golem or Knight coming in place with the Valkyrie ban. And here we go, Legend finally being able to play that Miner. It's been banned, and there's the Knight coming out from Benzer Rydell.
Knight on the left-hand side after being able to deal with that Miner pretty efficiently. And there's a Hog Rider on the right-hand lane. Hog Rider going for the tower. Gonna get a couple of shots here. The cannon cart just not gonna be able to kill it fast enough.
Ooh. Only 2 shots on that right-hand tower. Like, you have, Benzer Rydell has played Hog. This is the 5th match he's played in today that we have seen, and he has played Hog in all 5 matches. You just have to assume Hog Rider will be coming up from Benzer Rydell.
Yeah, an unfortunate situation right there as the Flying Machine stays onto the cannon cart, and the Mega Minion gets there just in time, and the Hog Rider's just a little bit too late.
Yeah, so Legend is running a giant Miner, like we were talking about before. He does have the Witch. Here comes the Miner, gonna tank, and this might be a lot of damage on the right-hand side.
Yeah, the Witch is going to get stopped by this Knight, but it is still going to do the damage. The Knight really isn't going to have any HP to mount any kind of counterattack, and now we have a 2 elixir lead from Legend, and he's looking in a very good position.
Yeah, minute 30 left in the match. You're sitting at 1500 HP. When your opponent has 600, you have to be feeling pretty confident at this point.
Absolutely, the Royal Ghost coming down on the right-hand side here is just going to cause a very big problem for Rydell. And oh, there it is. Royal Ghost just scooming by, and all he has is a Mega Minion caught out of rotation.
Yep, that tower is going to fall with the Mega Minion, not targeting the Royal Ghost. Ice Spirit's going to roll in here. Here comes the Hog. Cannon Cart comes down. No defensive structure for Legend. Fireball does clip the Mega Minion. Zap's going to finish it off, but the Hog's not going to do any damage.
No, not at all. Flying Machine coming down on the right-hand side right here, which is going to be going out, and it's going to be good on the defense. 45 seconds left. Benzer Rydell really needs to find a way to be able to take care of game number 1. Fireball coming in for both players here. Hog Rider is going to get a shot off onto the tower. The Witch is going to clear it out, and 30 seconds remaining.
That Hog Rider connection could be a game changer right here if Benzer Rydell can defend this and then get a counterattack going with 20 seconds remaining.
Yeah, there's still a lot of time left. The Witch is going after the Flying Machine. Here comes a Hog Rider again on the right-hand side, and that's going to get Fireball, but the Fireball misses! Oh, no! He didn't need that Fireball on offense, so Legend got really lucky that Benzaridel just fireballed that tower, because that was a complete misplay and that Hog would have still taken the tower.
Oh my goodness, the missed fireball. We've seen misplays caused games, and we put this one into overtime, but can Legend hold on, or will Benzaridel come back from that insane play?
Well, the Giant's pretty healthy here. Another Tombstone has to come down, but that means that another Giant is going to be cycled right here from Legend. A Giant going to the tower. The Witch is unscathed. Miner coming in on the backhand side. So much damage on the left, and that's going to be the game. Legend was able to recover, and it was looking really grim there for a little bit.
Yeah, I think Legend, he misplayed the fireball on defense. He knew at that point that the tower was going to fall, so he just started his counter push on the left-hand lane, and it just ended up overwhelming Benzaridel.
Yeah, Benzaridel fireballed Legend's King Tower because he was not expecting Legend to completely whiff on that fireball. Cost him 4 elixir. If he just was able to save that fireball, he would have had more than enough elixir to stop the counter push that Legend had. But unfortunately, you need to take a tower. You can't expect somebody to make a huge misplay like that. He threw out the fireball, he got the tower, but unfortunately for him, there was already a counter push with the Witch coming on his other side. Legend beautifully played there, took the game.
Yeah, so the misplays countered each other out, and Legend was just able to hold on. I think one of the highlights that led to Legend taking down that first tower was the Giant play that he had. The Mega Minion was just perfectly in the back. Tower was focused onto the Giant. The Giant was going towards the tower. The Ice Spirit was played a little too close to the Mega Minion before the Mega Minion was able to lock onto the tower, and the Mega Minion swiped down the Ice Spirit, allowing the Mega Minion to just chip away at the tower even more, and Benzaridel just had to take the damage.
Yeah, he had to take the damage, and that was just beautifully played from Legend there in game number 1, and that is why he's now going to be in a prime position. As we've said earlier, game 1 is huge in these matchups because it might be a best of 5, but once you get off to a strong start, now you're starting the momentum, you're starting the roll, and you can open up a lot of deck varieties that you can go against. And now Benzaridel, is he going to continue to run Hog Rider? That is the million-dollar question. That is the gold medal question at this moment. Well, at least the silver for now. Is he going to run Hog for the 6th straight game?
I mean, Hog was working so well for him earlier on in the day, but you have to assume he has something else up his sleeve. One of his other favorite cards is Mortar. We saw him play a Hog Mortar deck, but with Miner in play, is it possible to see a Miner Mortar Rascals bait?
It might be. I mean, the only time he did play Mortar, though, he did lose today, and that could be in the back of his mind. The only deck that he did lose was the Hog Mortar deck. Yeah. Maybe he does run a bait Mortar deck. If you're going to be playing Mortar, the best way to do it is with Rascals, is with bait-style elements. What I mean by bait-style elements is really cheap cycle cards that bait out either Zap or Fireballs or anything like that. But in a Mortar bait style, you'd go with either Goblin Gang to bait out the Log and the Zap, and then you go with Bats to bait out the Zap, or Minion Horde, you know, to bait out a Fireball, and just continue pressure over and over again so he can't use those big spells on offense because he keeps on having to use them on defense.
Yeah, so these players are getting ready to go into game number 2. I'm really excited to see what these guys are going to be bringing out for the second game.
Yeah, this is going to be a matchup where these two players are going to pretty much show everything they have right now, because this is a crutch game for both. If Legend wins this, he's going to be up 2-0, and if Benzaridel wins this, he's going to be right back in the series.
Yeah, so Furnace coming down from Benzaridel. He could still be playing Hog Rider.
We'll find out pretty soon. Poison coming down. It is going to melt this push, but a Miner is going to get a little bit of damage here. Mega Minion just going to swing down.
Yeah, so Benzaridel busting out the Miner, so he is not going with the Hog Rider. We were just talking about this. He played Hog at work so well that Dark Goblin's coming out for the first time today, too.
Oh, just doesn't get swiped on. Whew. Giant coming down here. The big bad Giant is going to be tanking those Dark Goblin Stairs, but the Furnace is going to do a deep pull. That's what you call the furthest you can pull a Giant. This Giant's going to be going on a journey.
Yeah, so it looks like Legend is actually going to be potentially sticking with the same deck. He has the Witch, the Cannon Cart, and the Zap. So he does have the Zap. Goblin Gang does come down to defend against a Miner. Defensive Miner is going to have to come down for this Royal Ghost. And that's one thing you know when your opponent is in a rough cycle when they have to play a defensive Miner.
Absolutely, Cannon Cart is easily going to be able to shut this down. It's going to have a lot of life left on his shield as it's going to be put right behind this Giant. Giant coming out the tank, and the best part about the Cannon Cart is it's not going to get hit by any of the Fire Spirits. Bats are going to take care of the Cannon Cart. Are going to do wield it. Mega Minion, though, pretty healthy on the right-hand lane. Is he going to choose the Miner? No.
No. Legend, I don't think had the Zap in rotation. I think he was one card off, so if he went in with the Miner, he would have had a Zap the Goblin Gang, and it was just Elixir that wouldn't have been spent well.
All right, Log coming out on the right-hand side to knock back this Royal Ghost. Miner coming out here, but the Bats are going to get zapped down. Miner for Miner here, just soaking damage.
He missed one of the Bats, so the Bat was able to chip away at the Miner, probably saving 1 or 2 hits on that tower.
Yeah, that's a very, very, very key play here, and here comes the huge push. We have a Miner Goblin Gang left-hand side, and the Goblins are gobbling up this tower. 2 Goblins reach the tower, and that is a ton of damage. Log coming out here from Benzer Rydell, and the Cannon Cart gets de-wielded on his side.
Yeah, that's huge for Benzer right now on this counter push. Poison's going to come down for the Witch. The Poison will do a pretty decent job to that Witch. Ice Golem going to come down to finish it off with the death damage. Dark Goblin on the left-hand lane, chipping away at the Giant, and the counter push is going to come in from Benzer Rydell.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Legend, oh,
the Dark Goblin! The Dark Goblin is going to take it. Benzer Rydell with the Miner control.
Wow, well played right there from Benzer Rydell. Both players there just going hit for hit, blow for blow, Miner for Miner. The only problem is Benzer Rydell had the Bats to shut down the Miner, where Legend just wasn't able to zap quick enough or just missed a Bat. He also had the Goblin Gang that just gobbled up Miner after Miner, where you really couldn't get any pressure off. And then you saw at the end there, Benzer Rydell getting that Dark Goblin sneaking through, while Legend had his Mega Minion on the right-hand side. Unfortunately for him, he had way too much HP to pick up at that moment in time. Benzer Rydell took advantage of that. Beautifully played Miners from him, and he wins the Miner battle.
Yeah, so a couple key highlights in that matchup right there were, one, the fact that Legend missed 1 Bat, because that Miner could have got a little extra chip damage, and that could have been a momentum changer. The fact that Benzer Rydell had bait cards, like you were saying, he needs to play a bait-esque deck. He had the Zap. He had the Zap bait in there for the Fire Spirits from the Furnace. He had it for the Spirit Goblins from the Goblin Gang, and he had it for the Bats. The Dark Goblin in there as well, in case there was a log in that situation, but it ended up being a Zap. And then the second key highlight, which was the game-winning play, was the Miner was played on the back left-hand side, so if anything was played in front, especially the Royal Ghost, the Dark Goblin is just completely able to bypass the Royal Ghost because it has to travel around the tower, leaving the Dark Goblin open for gobbling up that tower.
Yeah, the Dark Goblin does a ton of damage very, very quickly. I believe it shoots the fastest in the game, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, and it just does a ton of damage really, really quickly. I mean, the only thing that really does more damage to it, like right away, like for the elixir cost that it is Lavia Lumberjack as fast as it swings.
Yeah. They might have the same hit speed.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
That's true. It's one of those situations where, like, the Dark Goblin is a very, like, overlooked card because it is very underused. You know, you don't really see it too much, but it's one of those cards where if it gets played in the right deck, in the right scenario, it can shock you, surprise you, and look like an MVP like it did in that match.
Yeah, and especially when a pro player like Benzer Rydell is using it, and he uses it so well, the positioning he has, the timing he has with it, it just makes it look like an S-tier card.
Yeah, absolutely, as these players are trying to figure out what they're going to be running in game number 3. We have a tied up series, 1-2-1, and they are just looking over their decks trying to figure out What am I going to do? Is Benzaridel going to go back to Hog Rider? Is he going to stay with a Miner? That's the questions that need to be answered for Legend, because right now we've seen Benzaridel really only use 2 win conditions, and they have been Miner and they have been Hog.
Bandit coming in here, and Benzaridel's just going to take it. Tornado. So he takes the dash shot, and then tornadoes to the King Tower. Miner's going to come in. That top left placement keeps it out of range of the King Tower, so that's pretty safe.
Yeah, but that is a ton of damage to start off the game. The Inferno Dragon is coming out right here with the bats. Is there going to be a zap? No. This is going to be really good for Legend. I mean, he's ahead by a ton to start out this game. Yes, the King Tower is activated. Yes, he's playing a Miner deck, but he does have a pretty good amount of damage to start off this game.
Yeah, Canacart is going to come down defensively. Inferno Dragon's going to heat up onto this Ice Golem here. Ice Wizard comes in. Canacart's going to bypass the Inferno Dragon, but it's going to get logged away.
Yeah, and I think the key for Legend right now is just Fireball cycle out. If you can get any damage possible on this left-hand lane, like, you just take it, you know? You get a couple of Miner swings here and there, Fireball value on, you know, either a Cannon card or an Ice Wizard or anything really on the left-hand side, and here comes a Miner, easily gobbled up by the Ice Golem, putting it in that predictable spot. The top left-hand side is the only spot you can play a Miner where the King Tower is not going to hit it.
Yeah, and with the King Tower activated, you could probably assume that that is going to be a safe prediction spot for Benzaridel against Legend. The only other thing Benzer could do is Tornado far back left and just pull Miner away from the tower.
Absolutely, but that is 3 elixir, and that's one of the situations where if he puts it in another spot, you're sitting there like, oh.
Yeah, and you definitely, once the King Tower is activated, I feel like in this situation, you want to save the Tornado to pull an Inferno Dragon a little bit further back.
Absolutely, but there's a Royal Ghost that has to have a Ice Wizard to deal with it. Here's the one problem about a Royal Ghost. Legend's Royal Ghost is just creating so much havoc, having to drop the Ice Wizards, having to drop everything, and the Bandit's going to phase right into the Cannon card. Fireball coming in preemptively for the minions, but the minions are played on the back left-hand side. And could we have a counterattack right now?
Yeah, Miner Poison's going to roll through. Inferno Dragon is going to get distracted by these minions. The Miner slowly gets a little bit of chip damage, but Benzaridel still looking pretty low on his left-hand side.
Yeah, here comes a Miner on the backhand side, and a Fireball as well. That's going to be a big Fireball, and the Miner is chipping away at the tower. Here comes a counterattack from Benzaridel. Miner with the poison. The Cannon card, though, beautifully played right here, and that is going to be a very, very, very big defense for Legend. He's looking really, really good.
Yeah, Ice Golem's going to come down to distract this Cannon card, but the Miner placed on the backhand side of the tower.
Royal Ghost!
The log comes down just in time, but the Fireball chips it down to 398. Legend needs another Miner connection in order to put it in spell range.
Here comes a log on the left-hand side. There's going to be minions with a Miner here, but he's just trying to struggle right now. But the Cannon card's going to lock onto the tower. That's going to be a lot of damage. The Tornado comes out as well. Log.
The Miner had to come out to push the Cannon cart back, and then the log to knock it back even further.
Wow, what a play to save the game. Fireball coming in on the left-hand side, just getting a little bit more chip damage. Bandit.
It's going to be a Miner race. Tornado's going to come through. The tower is within log range, and Legend's going to throw the log, and the poison is not going to be quick enough.
Wow.
That was 1 poison away, but you need 8 seconds to get that poison off in a 200 range tower.
Wow.
So 1 spell.
What a match right there, and that's going to be 2-1 now. Legend gonna be able to pick up that second game, and that was a close one.
That was big.
That was, I think him tornadoing that early, still letting the Bandits swing on the tower once and get that damage with the dash. That's just so much damage to take, and then a Miner that he had to soak a little bit of damage of. I mean, that's just too much damage early. You're sitting and you're looking at your tower, and it's already, 20% dead, right off the start of the game. Is it really worth, your King Tower activation? The answer really is not really, because how much did the King Tower really do there? A couple of shots on a Miner here and there. That's just one situation, though. Maybe he just didn't have anything else to counter the Bandit. Maybe he didn't want to waste an Ice Wizard for it. But Tail of the tape is this. It's going to be 2-1. Legend on top. Can Benzer Rydell get back into this match?
Yeah, one thing I want to point out there was Legend had that log on the cannon cart that locked onto the tower. The log was timed perfectly because if you use a log and if it does enough damage to take down the cannon cart completely, the cannon cart will actually stay in place and won't get knocked back. So you need to make sure it has more health than the log would do in damage to knock it back, because if you take down the cannon cart with the log, the cannon cart will just drop where it was. So the fact that the log was able to knock the cannon cart back saved Legend's tower.
Absolutely, it's just an amazing play that he had the miner coming down as well, just to defend that. The cannon cart locking onto a tower is just something you never want to see, because if somehow it gets de-wheeled in and it's locked onto your tower still, it doesn't move like you said, and it's just like a stationary cannon that just pellets
your side of the arena.
And there it is. It's just something you just do not want. But amazing gameplay from Legend, and that's what you're seeing here. These are the best players in the world competing here, the best players in all of Asia. Legend representing Vietnam, and Benzer Rydell from Indonesia.
Yeah, so Benzer Rydell is backed against the wall for this last game. This could be his final match in the winner's bracket. So he's got quite the feat ahead of him, especially with Legend standing in his way.
Yeah, and this is one of the situations where can he get back into the matchup? Can he somehow be able to, you know, focus and re-energize himself? I mean, he's been running hogs, he's been running miners. You know, that's kind of what he's doing. Is he going to be straying away from that? Maybe we see a giant, or maybe you see a cannon cart. That's going to be the question that's going to be answered in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, we'll see. So Tombstone coming down from Benzer Rydell. Could he be playing his Hog Rider deck once again? The pump coming down from Legend. We might be seeing 3 Musketeers. There's the fireball from Benzer Rydell.
Well, there is the fireball, the pump. Not really going to get too much value here, but there is. It looks like this is going to be a fireball bait deck, and there is a fireball. So he was completely ready for this. The Rascoolies on the backhand side from Benzer Rydell. 3 Musketeers being split here for Legend. The Ice Golem is just in front of everything.
Oh, the Lava Hound.
Lava Hound, first time we see Lava Hound today.
Is this Lavaloon Rascals?
I do not believe so. No, it's got Miner, I believe. All right, Royal goes to the left-hand side, doing a ton of damage. Battle Ram on the right, is it going to connect? No, Tombstone has to come down to defend.
Ooh, good zap to take care of the skeletons. Barbarians might get a couple chip shots in here. Yep, Barbarian just swinging away at the tower, brings it down to 1194. Some pretty decent split damage right there for Legend. I mean, that's what this 3 Musketeer bridge spam deck does. You just constantly get chip damage with the 2 Musketeers on one side, one on the other, splitting the battle ram, which whatever you feel is best, and especially that pump. And here comes the pressure. Oh, the balloon coming behind the Rascals.
Wow, Rascals with a balloon here, still just willing to run this balloon Lava Hound deck, and here comes the balloon connecting twice onto the tower. The fireball coming in, taking care of the zappies, and just like that, Benzer Rydell gets right back into this game.
Yeah, and the balloon also goes for the pump, so the fireball onto the zappies was value for Benzer Rydell. World Ghost is chipping away on the right-hand side, bringing the tower down to 546.
Yeah, very risky playing a balloon deck in, you know, pretty much this meta, but listen, here it is. 3 Musketeers being cycled once again from Legend. Here is an Ice Golem as well, putting everything on the left-hand side. The Lumberjack trying to get to the Tombstone, but it's just not getting there in time. Fireball on the right-hand side is going to kill everything on the right. Double Musketeer still alive on the left, trying to take down this Lava Hound as fast as possible. Battle Ram once again getting absolutely demolished by this Tombstone, and just the answers are there.
Yep, Legend has no big spell, so he has to get a huge push right now. But with the defense that Benzer Rydell has, it's not looking good. And in Chen, we're going to see our first game 5 since round 1.
We are. It is looking like it is over, and Benzer Rydell representing Indonesia is going to stay alive. It's going to be 2-2, and this next game is going to determine the winner's bracket winner, I guess you could say. Not the winner of the entire thing, though. Don't worry, they still got to win versus the loser's bracket final. But this next game is going to be huge for both players. Ties it up 2-2. Legend versus Spencer Rydell. I really liked how, got out of his comfort zone, got out of his minors, got out of his hog riders that he's playing every single game, mixed it up. Put in some rascals, put in a balloon, put in a lava hound, and what a play. I mean, offensively played that lava hound. He may have died, but then he got him out of cycle, put the rascals balloon push on the right, fireball the Zappius, and the tower was sayonara.
Yeah, I mean, that was huge. So the way Spencer Rydell set that up, the pump goes down on the right-hand side. He was smart to apply the pressure on the side where the pump was. He knew that Legend's counter to the balloon was either going to be the Three Musketeers, which he had as a cycle, or it was going to be the Zappies, which he had to play close enough because you had the Rascals pushing in with the balloon. So once the Rascals come down, the fireball goes in for the Zappies, takes it down, and then that balloon's going to survive because Legend has no other air counters. The balloon just goes straight for the pump, so he can afford to fireball the Zappies and get that balloon to destroy the tower, push through the pump, and not fall behind Elixir. So phenomenal play from Spencer.
Absolutely phenomenal play from him. And now it's going to be a game number 5, and now he's shown that he doesn't only play Hog Rider, doesn't only play Miner, so it's going to be very interesting to see what he brings out in game number 5. And just like you said, really good play from him, knowing that a Three Musketeer deck normally doesn't have Fireball, doesn't really have Log, it's got like a Zap. He was able to drop the Rascals, knew his balloon was going to be unscathed, going right for the tower, knew he had Fireball in rotation, and knew Legend's really only defense was the Zappies, which were going to get Fireballed. Amazing play right there, knew he had enough to take it out, and not only did he take it out, he took out the pump, which was the key there, which was why Legend was like, okay, I can deal with a little bit of pressure from him, no problem, as long as I keep this pump alive. Fortunately for him, the pump fell, his elixir advantage fell, and the Three Musketeers just did not work out.
That's one thing about Three Musketeer decks and most Golem decks is that you need to rely on that elixir advantage because Three Musketeers and Golem at that high cost, Three Musketeers at 9 elixir, the highest cost card in the game, you need that pump advantage.
Absolutely, you need that pump advantage because you need to be able to get out the cycle, like you said, 9 elixir for Three Musketeers, the most expensive card in the game, and it's one of those cards where you need to cycle it with other mini tanks in front of it. You need to get out the Zappies, you need to get out the Ice Golems, you need to really make a huge push that is able to stop everything, and not only stop everything on defense, but push on offense as well. Because if you drop Three Musketeers in the back and they push you, with either a Hog Rider or balloon at the bridge, you need to be able to stop that and push, be able to get the advantage both ways on the arena. But these players are just looking locked in, trying to find exactly what deck they're going to be running for this next match, and this is pretty big.
Yeah, this match determines whether you move on to the grand finals and fight for that gold medal with an extra life, because this is a double elimination bracket, so you will have that second life coming from the winner's bracket. The player coming from the lower bracket is going to have to beat the winner bracket winner twice.
Absolutely. I'm interested to see what Spencer Rydell brings out in this next matchup.
Yeah, you have to wonder what these players are going to bring. This is where it all goes down. Game 5, the first Game 5 we have seen since round 1. This is huge.
Yeah, this is really huge, and they're taking their time getting into this game, making sure everything is prepared, ready to go. So they are going to in essence, represent their country in the finals or not. I mean, right here, if you win this, you're going to be in at least the finals, to be able to get a chance to get a gold medal for your country.
Yeah, that has to be weighing in these players' minds right now, is the fact that if you're Spencer Rydell and you win this match, this is huge. because not only do you have that second life, but you also have the home field advantage of playing in your home country.
Absolutely. Home field advantage is so crucial, especially when you're just sitting there, you know, especially when you're leaving. You're leaving your home, you're leaving your environment, you have to go out, you know, you're not comfortable playing in places. I know some people have favorite places to play. I got my favorite couch in my house that I play in all the time. That's where I go. That's where I win my matches. That's where I know I'm comfortable learning decks, playing, relaxing, you know, just doing this. Sometimes when you're in a hotel room, it's a little bit more difficult to play, a little bit more difficult to scheme with your friends and everything like that. So it does play a little bit of a advantage, I guess you can say, to the home, you know, not only that, but the home crowd here. We got a live crowd, and it's going to be a interesting road. But 2-2, game number 5. It all comes down to this to move on to the grand final.
Yeah, Royal Hogs band, Valkyrie band. You have to wonder, what are these guys bringing out?
I'm going to say they got to bring out some. I'm going to say it's going to be interesting because we've seen Benzo Rydell run out his mortar deck, and I think if you're going to run a mortar deck, I think it's game number 5. It's you throw it out there, you run mortar, you run rascals, and you just roll the dice on it. If you're Legend, I think there's a couple of things that you could do, especially that counter a lot of decks that Benzo Rydell have. I think you run something like a bolt, you know? You run something that counters a mortar, counters a hog rider, and then you might do like a tornado just to stop, and an electro wizard just to stop a miner from coming at you, you know? You'd be able to easily tornado the miner to the king tower, or you'll be able to, you know, electro wizard to stop it. So I think maybe Legend might be going with like a splash yard variant or something like that, and Benzo Rydell probably either goes with a hog rider, maybe a mortar, or he could go back to his miner.
Yeah, and I mean, if either of those options, if Legend knows that those are his options and he does bring out that bowler, that is huge.
Here it is right now. There's going to be an ice golem on the left-hand side from Benzo Rydell. Furnace coming down from him as well.
All right, Royal Ghost coming through, does take down that first round of Fire Spirits, and the Royal Ghost will connect to the Furnace here. Gets taken down by the Bats and the Fire Spirits, but that Furnace took a little bit of hits.
Yeah, here comes a cannon cart on the right-hand side from Legend. Fire Spirits aren't going to get knocked down here.
Cannon cart is going to push through these Fire Spirits. Here comes a Miner from Legend. Goblin Gang going down in the back, and the Miner comes down from Benzo Rydell, and he's got that Dark Goblin again.
He's got to play a Miner on defense, unfortunately. Dark Goblin coming out here is going to take down the Royal Ghost just in time, and now the Dark Goblin is going to get some shots on the tower.
Yeah, Bandit comes down a little too late. Bats are going to come in here, Log's going to knock it back. Great timing on the Log to make sure that Bandit doesn't get a dash.
No, Bats are just going to get cleared out by the tower on the right-hand side here. We got 1 minute and 45 seconds left to go in this match. It looks like Miner versus Miner.
Yeah. Both of these players going with their comfort decks. Inferno Dragon coming out from Legend here.
Ooh, that might cost him very, very heavily right now. It's just way too expensive. It's pretty much Inferno Dragon versus Furnace at this point, and the Furnace just gives you so much value in every single aspect. Fireball comes in, but the Fireball misses everything, and now Legend's in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, these Spear Goblins are going to take care of this Inferno Dragon. Bats are going to come in as well. Royal Ghost has to come down defensively. Bats are going to lock onto the tower because the Royal Ghost had to chase the Miner.
And the Bandit comes out right here with the Bats. Is he going to be able to stop it? Yes. Ice Golem is going to be good on defense. The Dark Goblin is going to be able to take it out as well. And the Dark Goblin just putting in work, cleaning up the scraps here. Log is going to clear it out.
We saw the Dark Goblin was the MVP in game number 2 for Benzo Rydell. Can it be the MVP of game number 5?
We're going to find out. Here comes the poison down on the right-hand side, but that poison isn't going to get any value whatsoever. Log, oh, it does just clip the cannon cart, and the cannon cart gets de-wielded right there as it's going to be just sitting there, but it still does do defense, though. It kind of just acts like a standard cannon, but it does lose a lot of life. Really cool. Poison coming down once again, just getting this chip damage with this poison and taking down the cannon before it can get to the side of the arena.
Yeah, the minor poison pushes from Benzo Rydell are just slowly stopping these cannon carts, and Benzo is applying the pressure now with a Miner going in. The bats are going to come through a little bit, chip away at the bats. Here comes a counter push bandit.
Yeah, the Furnace is just causing so much of a problem right now. Just beautifully played from Benzer Rydell over and over again. And I think that this is just a tale of just having the better deck, you know? The Inferno Dragon just unfortunately isn't doing anything.
Yep, there's the Miner slowly chipping away. 364 remains. The log is going to roll through. It is going to chip that tower down to 280. That is poison long range. Here comes the Miner on the backhand side. Dark Goblin's going to come down to defend. Bandit is going to dash to the Dark Goblin. Dashes to the Spear Goblin. And that Miner is slowly chipping away at the tower.
Yeah, but it's going to be looking like this might be the game right here. Miner coming in on the right-hand side. It's going to connect once onto the tower. It's going to connect twice, 3 times. But the bandit's going to be to the right.
The poison's coming down. We have a base race. The Miner's going to come in. The poison's going to chip away. The log knocks it back. Benzer Rydell moves on to the grand finals.
Oh, Benzer Rydell moving on to the finals, winners bracket champion, and he's going to have to beat him twice in order to do it. The hometown hero here in Indonesia has just advanced.
The sigh of relief on Benzer Rydell's face as soon as the poison started ticking away. Wow. What a match.
Yeah, what a match right there. Minor war, but the difference in that game was Inferno Dragon versus the Furnace. The Furnace just kept on getting value over and over again. And with the
AIS Play รวมความบันเทิงคุณภาพ เปิดความสนุกทุกที่ทุกเวลา